Hello! Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
I'm Brad Lake.
And I'm Toph Ferguson.
We're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. And I'll do my little dance. What are we talking about
People
today?
want to see it, so might as well keep it in there. You are such a wonderful award-winning dancer.
I can do the Elaine.
That takes talent.
Without trying. Like, that's my dance.
You're speaking the television show of my heart right there. Oh, there's nothing about show about nothing. So today
we're going to have a top 10. Everybody likes top 10s. I like top 10s.
I like top 10s.
It's just the way it works.
It's
People
fun.
like top 10s. There's something in, I don't know, caveman days, maybe they had top 10s, and that's why everybody likes them now.
Could be. That's why we have 10 fingers, right?
It may be. That may be. It's just something about 10.
This top 10's a fun category because I think this top 10 kind of hits a sweet spot of where we like to game, both of us. We both like heavyweight games. We really enjoy that, but I think really where we settle most of our enjoyment in games.
Our party game. Like, it kind of is like
Are they party games?
they're not. No, they're not party games.
I was gonna say,
but for us, we cut up and laugh and do all that like you would with a party game. But these are in the realm
where it works.
Yeah,
these are not the ones that we're draining our mind trying to figure out how to get through, like our first barrage where we wanted to cry and couldn't talk afterwards. Couldn't start a camera to say, hey, let's talk about our first impressions.
Yeah.
This is where we get to bicker and, well, it's just like our videos.
We get to shoot it all over the place and make everybody laugh. So these are middleweight games. So we should probably
10,
talk about that.
Yeah, we'll probably say what it is we're doing. Top 10 middleweight games. And that's a broad category, I think. The weight rating scale of board games, for one, it's subjective. What I consider to be a middleweight game, some may consider to be some of the heaviest games that they've played. It's kind of hard to put a number as to what it is. I like rubrics, being a teacher and educator. I like having a scale that I can go by. So like my board game rankings are BGG's list because there's a good rubric. And weight wise, that's kind of where I went when I was figuring out what would be on my top 10 list. I started with what would be on the BGG weighting kind of scale. And obviously it's 1 to 5. So if you've been to BGG's website, BoardGameGeek.com's website, you've seen their weighting anywhere from a 1 to a 5. I have not yet seen a 5 on a game. But
anything over 4 is hard.
Yeah, anything over 4, you're in that heavyweight. So
and then what, a 1 is Uno or something easier than that?
Well, in the 1s or below a 1,
like a 1.
Yeah, a 1. Uno is probably like a 1 point. I don't know.
Yeah,
1 point.
Just to give people an idea, there is, for those new to gaming, there is a way people like to weight from 1 to 5. It's not necessarily how we rate them.
Yeah,
but
and I don't know exactly what kind of BGG uses. I know we talk about that a lot as a standard because that's accessible to a lot of people around the world to see the website and kind of get into it. When I think of weight rating, I think of how hard is it to learn? How hard is it to teach other people? How hard is it to actually play the mechanics? Like what are the volume of mechanics that are used in it? Is it, just a worker placement? Or is it a worker placement with a deck builder with this? That's going to add into the weight rating. And then, the thinking, what does it take to do your moves? What does it take to kind of get through them? So when I went through, I kind of focused on anything in the 2 to 3 range. So anything in between there in the 2s, but I also kind of bumped it down a little bit. So I've got some games that are less than a 2. I've got some 1.5, 1 3/4, up till I think 325 was my cutoff. It's like anything that's above a 325. I don't think that's going to be what I would consider middleweight. That would be a little bit heavier. So that was kind of the range that I stuck in for all of the games that I ranked. I ranked about 60 games that I have either played or in one of our collections that are in that middleweight category.
And so even though I'm an engineer, I do it more on feeling. So I break out my weight rating intro games, and then I have medium games, medium high, and super high. So basically, like, Surges I put on the super high, but if you look at a bell curve, most of my games are in this medium to medium high. So I just took the medium section of that grouping. So I know that's not as statistical and all the point ratings and looking at BGG, but it's essentially what I try to get people into after I've got them into the intro games.
Mm-hmm.
This is that next level up. So for me, if you like games that I like to play and you're trying to get somebody from, your intro games that you've introduced them to into that next level, this is my top 10 list of that. What I try to get, it's like step 2, maybe step 3 into games that we enjoy. Like that's our goal. We want to get anybody new into, hey, here's an easy game. Oh, and now let's red trail you into these other games, and this is really our sweet spot.
I've got some intro games that were high on my list, and you might see one of them in one of my rankings. So, but yeah.
So, what is your top 10? You get to lead us off.
Yes. Well, before we get into the top 10, I like to break rules a little bit sometimes. So, honorable mention. Yeah, I'm not a cheater. But
cheater.
Honorable mention. I think I have one. I probably have a good honorable 40 mentions on my list, but we'll stick it to one. And it is, again, subjective to who it is that's going to be playing it. You are a chess player. This is probably going to be relatively easy. If you're not, it's going to be a little bit on the medium weight. But it's a game that you and I enjoy playing a whole lot together, and that is Hive.
I love that game.
Yeah.
Hive absolutely love that game. Absolutely.
It's thinky. It's little pieces. It's strategy, but it's not a lot of other mechanics. It's easy to teach. Yeah, it plays fast. And it's something that continues to challenge us, and we play over and over and over again. So, yeah, sweet spot of that middleweight game.
So, I'm not a cheater, but I have a number 11. That's not cheating.
Follower. Someone wants to be like me when he grows up.
My number 11 is Lost Ruins of Arnak. So, it's in top 20 of BGG of all time, but it's a nice middleweight game. People like the theme, kind of Indiana Jones-ish and stuff. And I'm not even talking with the expansion. I'm just talking the base game. It's not a hard teach. You can kind of walk people through it. I wouldn't say it's the most exciting game at times, but it's a good, solid game. So that's my number 11.
Yeah.
Can't say much more about it.
It's not a bad one. It was in part of the games that I ranked. It's a good little worker placement.
Yeah,
resource management game.
It's a nice worker placement game with a nice little theme.
Yeah,
so that's my number 11.
Awesome. So let's get into top 10s.
Ooh.
Here we go. This is why we're here, right? My number 10 has what I would consider to be a little bit more unique of a mechanic to it. It has a programming component to it, and that is Robo Rally.
You guys were having a blast last time. I didn't get to play it. I was in the other room.
Yeah. Anytime I've played this game, it has been, people are going to make a game one way or another, but it has been this exciting game of pushing people literally off the board or into traps and yelling at each other as you do it. And then all of a sudden realizing you have screwed up your program. And so you thought you were turning right, you're turning left. And now you're sending yourself into a pit or, whatever it might be. It's just a lot of fun. It's, some of it is uncontrollable. You do your best to be able to program what it is. There's a little bit of luck in it, but it's a mad fun game. It's not a component most people are used to, so it's a good way to introduce people to the programming mechanic and have a lot of fun and laugh the whole way through, I think. So that's my number 10, Robo Rally.
Very cool. Can't wait to play that one. My number 10 is a push your luck game. It's been out not quite a year yet. I guess they did come out with an expansion. I haven't picked it up. The Hunger.
Oh yeah, good game.
It's definitely, when I said intro game, but this is definitely one that we get people into early, and I just like it. I like the art. I like the play. The rule book is, I still say it's garbage. I'm sorry, the rule book is just horrible. But it's easy to play. And I think it's fun. You get the different animals that can help you, and you can hit somebody and then knock them backwards. And, as you have drunk people that you're vampires and you're trying to pick people up, you're eating them essentially, right? And so there's drunk people, there's spicy people. The drunk people, screw up how you move. The spicy people make you go to a well, which might be in the opposite direction that you want to go, because you're trying to get all the way back to the castle after you've been out before the daylight comes. So I like it. It was by Richard Garfield. There's a lot that I like about The Hunger.
Clank's also a good deck builder.
Yeah, it's another one, and we're gonna be doing a review on those too. So
yeah,
check out that video one of these days.
Yeah, it's not out there yet, but it will be.
Mm-hmm,
It will be soon. So number 10 is done. Let's move into number 9. Drum roll, please. My number 9 is a tile placing game.
Really?
And yes, kind of a classic staple. It is an entry level game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's got some complexity to it in the way that the game plays. So it's very easy to teach, but sometimes it can get into a bit of a challenge to play, especially with other people who play it well. And that is Carcassonne.
That's a great game.
It is.
I haven't played that in forever, but you're right. That's a good intro. Really can suck people into the hobby game.
Yeah. And especially as you either add in the expansions to it, which are adding in new win conditions, more things, it's one of those things that takes an easy game and all of a sudden makes it a little bit more complex because there's more to do in it.
Yeah.
Playing with the farms or not playing with the farms is going to change the complexity rating of the game. It's just a fun game to sit around in.
Is that the first game to have meeples?
That's my understanding. That's the rumor.
I don't know if that's confirmed. Maybe you guys know, but I think that's like where meeples started.
That's from what I've heard. A lot of people have said that is where the term meeples came from. So
no, that's a great
shape in the
I can't. I bet it's been years since that. So once you really get into the hobby, right? When's the last time you played? Those. That's one that I would play a lot.
I played it a couple months ago.
Did you really?
I did. I like it. Yeah,
it's been a while. It's a good game. There's no reason to play it, but man, yeah, that's a good game. Been out. Yeah, it's been out.
It's been out a while. Yeah,
long time. My number 9 is kind of a combo. So now it's my turn to cheat.
Once again, Brad is bad at cheating.
Well, if I'm bad at it, then I guess I can't.
Okay, so I'm bad at words too.
Anyway, so this is a game that's new to me, but I've played it a lot. And then there's a game that's very similar that I would say they stole it from. So it's Marvel Champions and Sentinels of the Multiverse. I'm not sure which one I like more yet, only because I haven't been able to play Sentinels as many times as I've played Marvels. And I've played Marvels mainly solo with a couple of 2-player games, and I've only played Sentinels at 4 and 5. And I've had a blast at Sentinels every time we've played it. So I need to play Sentinels more to then kind of determine which one I like better. I kind of like Marvels is Marvels, but Sentinels makes me feel like the movie The Incredibles. Like the first one when he's fighting the big robot and stuff. I don't know what it is about that. Like, I really, maybe it's because it's a little bit more abstracted. I feel like I can role play as my hero, so to speak, more so than like I'm Spider-Man. I'm never going to be Spider-Man, and but I like the game. So that's my number 9 middleweight game. That it's I'm not sure which I like better, and maybe by the end of the year I'll be able to say definitely like Sentinels better, or I definitely like Marvels better. But definitely going to work on that this year to figure that out.
Good games.
Yes.
I think similar category wise, I would put Cthulhu or Arkham Horror, the card game, kind of up there with it. But I can definitely see. I've not played Marvel Champions yet, but Sentinels I have, and that's such a good game. I can see the overlap. I've watched it played. I watched it last night. You were playing it, and I couldn't join in the game unfortunately. But it was fun to watch it and see the overlap between them. So good game.
Good game. And I think I've said this before. The only reason I don't consider Arkham medium weight.
Yeah,
I think that's really the thing. It's like it's a little bit outside that medium weight. It takes a little bit longer to table and a little bit more to do.
I would definitely put that into at least medium heavy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a heavyweight game, but it's not. Right. I wouldn't put that as a medium weight.
It's not the next level.
Yeah, that's heavier than anything on my list, and I've got some heavier ones that are coming up.
So that was my number 9.
Excellent. So my number 8 is a how would I put this? It's a great game that I was hoping.
It's on your top 10 list, and it's a great game.
It is. I was hoping to like it more than I do, but I'm glad it's exactly where it is.
Okay.
And that is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition.
You were worried you weren't going to like it.
Yeah, I was completely worried I'd hate it. And the first time I played it, I did not like it. It is great solo, and the more that I have soloed it, the more that I've enjoyed it. So now playing with other people, I enjoy it. I love Terraforming Mars. It's never going to replace Terraforming Mars, and part of Terraforming Mars is the complexity of it.
Right.
And this brings that complexity level down quite a bit, almost a full step. At least I think so.
Right.
It plays pretty quick for a Terraforming Mars game. It has the engine building in it. It's a good way to be able to teach engine building because you can't do everything at one time with it. You're limited in what you can do based on how the mechanics are coming out as to, you know, what action are you taking this turn or not taking. And so it's easy to be able to teach people and maybe see them not get so overwhelmed if it's their first time playing something that has such an engine building component to the cards and to the game and how you put it all together. So that's a good part of it. I enjoy it. I really do. As long as I'm not thinking of it as the big brother, as I call it, Terraforming Mars, which is my favorite game of all time. As long as I think of it as a different game, then all of a sudden I say, you know what, this is such a good game. This is a good medium weight game.
Yeah, that one really boomerang. I remember you saying like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then next thing I'm like, you're like, I really like this game. I'm like,
yeah. And I think some of it was that threshold of getting over the threshold of saying this is not Terraforming Mars.
Right.
This is same theme. The cards look similar in terms of what you notice on it. Like you recognize a lot of overlap,
right.
But it plays so different. And as soon as I said this is not a Terraforming Mars game, it's similar. It's just a completely different game. Okay, now this is fun. Now I can enjoy this.
You can like let that baggage go.
And I think hashing it out solo play helped a lot with that because I started to understand how the game played.
Cool. So, very cool. So my number 8 is a game he owns, and he introduced. This is one of the first games you introduced me to. One of his first videos by himself. So if you want to go see how bad our videos were, you know, the beginning, you can go look at this. This is Viticulture.
Oh, good game.
Yeah. So that's my number 8. We played this a couple weeks ago, I think. So it's a nice game. It's a nice worker placement game. You know, doing the wine thing. I still think I really was horrible this last game, but it had been a while since I played it, so I was not efficient at it at all. But I like the game. I like the cards. I like the premise of it, of the whole thing. And then, you know, I still haven't played the expansion, which you say is great.
Yeah.
And kind of almost essential. But you know, Toph typically doesn't bring expansions in, and I don't either. When you're trying to teach somebody a new game, right? So then after they learn it, then we'll pull the expansions out if they're better and don't bog things down.
And what he's talking about is the Tuscany expansion added onto Viticulture.
But that's my number 8. I enjoy it. I like when we play it, and you know, it's definitely a game I want. I think Arl will like it.
Oh, I do. I really do.
I really think she's gonna like that, and we just haven't had a chance. We all haven't. She's usually, you know, working when we're sitting down playing those games on the weekends.
Yeah, it's a chill experience. Like it's not overly stressful. It's relaxing. It's a good one.
Yeah, I like it.
Perfect. Number 7.
Are we putting you guys to sleep yet?
I hope not. I hope not. My number 7 is also a chill kind of game, and it is probably one of the more famous games, probably the most famous game by the publisher.
Okay.
And that is Wingspan. So sticking with Stonemaier games, I'm a big fan of Stonemaier games, but Wingspan is a great chill engine builder. Card game, you get some really great cards that you can kind of pull into your play area, and you've got to try to get that synergies to it. So it's not overly complex, but at the same time, there's enough of a complexity in terms of thought of how do I, with limited cards that you'll be able to play, get the cards to work the best together. And so, you know, even if you're not yet good at that, there's still a lot of ways to get points. So there's a lot of ways to be able to say, I'm not going to maybe win the game, but I'm not going to be, you know, so far behind everybody else that I feel like I'm not having fun.
Right.
You can really get in there. You can really play. And the more that you do that, obviously, the more that you're going to start to see the synergies and put things together. But Wingspan is just a great medium weight. I wouldn't just say intro. I don't think it's an intro game necessarily, but you could introduce that to somebody who's not played many games, and they would still be able to catch on and play pretty well. So yeah, it's
cool.
Fun game.
Nice. That's good. Obviously, over 1 million copies, I think.
Something out. Yeah, it's outrageous.
It's very few games hit that.
Yeah,
it's a modern game that's been able to hit that number. It's crazy.
Yes, huge success.
Yep.
So thank you, Jamie Stegmaier.
Very awesome. He published it, right?
Stonemaier Games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the designer. I know she did a great job with that.
Oh, the
She knocked
designer,
it out
yeah.
of the park. Yep. So my number 7 is a game I like, and I'm almost out here on an island. I know Liege from Liege Games loves this game, and I may like it almost as much as him. But it's a co-op game. I kind of attribute it to Loki and the whole time jumping series and things like that. But it's called The Loop, and it has that pandemic style, but you're trying to trace yourself around, and it gets harder, and it has different levels of difficulty. And I like the humor in it, and I like the art of it, and I just think it's fun. I don't know, but it's funny. Like, I am definitely on the minority on this game of liking it, and hey, that's okay. But it's something I enjoy.
We need to pull that one back out at our gaming group. We played it there in the beginning a handful of times, and we haven't played it for a while. So.
Yeah, well, we just keep getting a lot of different games, but they have a new expansion. I'm kind of on the fence to get it, mainly because not a lot of other people like to play it. So I'm not going to put I don't want to put money into other things that nobody else wants to bring to the table. So, we'll kind of see how that works. But I like The Loop. I think it's fun. I think it's quirky. There you go.
Yeah, it's definitely funny. The cards are awesome.
That's my number 7.
Nice. Number 6. For me, number 6 is one of the probably most beautiful games that's on my list, design-wise, and that is Everdell. Yes, worker placement, classic. A little bit of Take That, not a whole lot, but a lot of...
Well, we play with the Rat King.
Yeah, that helps with the Take That.
Yeah, you can take somebody's whole hand.
Yeah.
Did I do that to you?
Yes. You don't have to play the Take That strategy, but if there is going to be Take That in any game, Brad is going to use that against me. Man, I was doing so good. You ripped my soul away with that.
I took his whole hand, gave him my crappy hand.
Your hand was
you
terrible.
Still won.
I did. Take that.
So had I not have taken that, you'd have just like completely rolled over us.
Yes.
So
I was set up.
Glad I took everything from you.
Thank you, my friend. You can see why we like some of these games. Everdell is a great one. Everdell is probably not my first choice in terms of teaching somebody worker placement, just because I think the volume of cards that you're going to see coming through it, sometimes it can be hard to conceptualize why I'm going to this location versus this location and how to make those work. But it is, once somebody understands what a worker placement is, then you start to say, okay, now I'm looking at my cards and now I know what I need. Now I know how to go get it. Or make a contingency when Brad takes your hand away or something like that. So it is a beautiful game. It draws people in. Seeing that tree, the Ever tree on the table, people walk over, they want to see what it is. They've seen the game before, they know it. It's instant recognition. And so you have a lot of people that are kind of wanting to play along with you as well. But it's not overly complex, and at the same time, it's very thinky when you've got people who know that game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a good game. It really is. It was the nature games that I like have seriously surprised me. Like how good they really are. So good choice. My next one you don't like.
Okay. I have an idea what it is.
So I like this game. It's one versus many. It's hidden movement, and it's from a comic book called Mind MGMT. And we even had the author comment on like my unboxing. He was promoting a book. I'm sure that's why he commented, but it was still kind of cool.
It was awesome. Yeah, I will give you that. I don't like the game, but that was really cool.
But yeah, I mean, like I like it, and I've found it fun. We haven't gone through all the boxes. My son and I have played it a few times. It's a good game. Like if you have a group that likes hidden movement, and I'm not sure ours does. I know there's a few people here and there that do. But I really enjoyed it. I really did.
I think I learned there's a couple games that I have that are hidden movement or that I've played before that are hidden movement, and I've enjoyed the games. I did not enjoy Mind Management that much. It's good. It's a great game, but I learned I'm not a fan of hidden movement games.
And I thought you would really like it because he's got Whitechapel.
Yeah, Letters from Whitechapel is great. Yeah.
And I thought this was going to be like right up your alley, modern version. Yeah. It's not, but all hidden movements are similar.
I don't know. I just, it didn't click. It didn't click. And I'm not unwilling to play it again, but it's not
Oh, yeah.
my first choice. But it is a good. It's a good medium weight game.
Yeah, and it doesn't
It
take
is.
very long to play.
Yeah,
Like,
and the
I
artwork
don't know
is
how
cool as all
long
get out.
Whitechapel. Every time we've tried to play Letters from
takes
Whitechapel,
much longer.
you know,
Yeah.
this is. I mean, you can be done with this game in 30 to 40 minutes, which is nice, and then you can play another one. You know, so that's probably one of the reasons I like it.
Yeah.
It can be a quick one and done, or I've got enough time to play it twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I support that being on your list. It's not on my list.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I didn't think it would be anywhere near your list.
it's on my long list.
Just because he played it.
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah, it made. I don't even know where it is. Maybe it's not on there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's my number 6.
Excellent. So my number 5 is Euro through and through, and this is probably the heaviest weight game that's on this list of medium weight games.
Mm-hmm.
For on my list at least, and that is Castles of Burgundy.
Yeah, I would not have put that on.
Yeah, I think you put that a little bit higher.
Yep.
I put it as medium weight. Like I said, it's the highest of the medium weight games that's on my list, but it is a game that when we have played it with medium weight gamers who do not play heavier weight games, instantly picked it up. And so that, while it has a lot of complexity in terms of a lot of things are going on all at one time and you're really having to focus on what's going on your player mat, it still is appealing to and brings in people who are medium weight gamers, as that is their complexity, that's their comfort level, that's what they want. And so that's why I am calling it a medium weight game.
And I don't disagree with that. It is my number 1 intro into Euro games. If you want to get somebody into a Euro game, Castles of Burgundy needs to be your gateway game. If you like Euro games and you want to get somebody from, you know, hey, I like these games that we're talking about, and you want to get them just a notch up, Castles of Burgundy is the game. I haven't found one that's better.
It's well now that I've got Furnace, I might choose something like Furnace. That's some of the mechanics.
Still just 2 players. At least with Castles of Burgundy, you got 4.
Well, you can play 3 or 4 with Furnace.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we've only played it 2, but yeah, Castles of Burgundy is just, it's great. It's great. You know, I do want to play Tuscany to see what that's like. It's supposed to be a little bit lower complexity.
I just hear it's not as good.
Well, I mean, no, it's not. It's not Castles of Burgundy, which is such a good game. One of the best, well-rated. It's such a good game.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait that. What was that your number?
That was my number 5.
Number 5.
Yes.
So my number 5 is a game we talked about this a lot. Pandemic Legacy. It's been on my top 100. We haven't done top 100. It was our top 40 of all time list, right? I've talked about this. So usually when we play it in a month, then it's always on my top 5 of that month.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great game. For those of you who haven't seen me talk about this, I don't like Pandemic, the game by itself.
Dagger to my heart, right there.
But I love this game. I love this game.
Oh, it's
absolutely
fantastic.
You know, and with the story and the way you open things and unlock things and the pressure it puts you under is more fun than Pandemic, right? For me.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you know,
so much more. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think Pandemic to me is just a little light, and it's kind of like you can get into this alpha gaming kind of thing depending on who's playing.
Mm-hmm.
This, I love the game. So, you know, it's really solid at number 5. I don't know where, for me, it is a middleweight game. I don't know how you would want to pick it up. Yes, no, maybe so, but
I would not put this in middleweight. I would put this higher than middleweight.
Yeah.
I can see why, but
it's not hard to learn.
It's not hard to learn, but buddy.
Yeah.
It's such a good game. I considered it, and it was on my top 10.
Yeah.
It was high on my top 10, but it got kicked out. I was like, it's just a little too high for me. I gotta throw that one into
there
the
you go.
column.
So that's why. Hopefully, that's why you guys like us, because we have different opinions on things and how we see it. So
that's such a good game.
It is. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad I get to play it because, man, I do love it.
But as soon as we finish this one, we're gonna have to start another one. So can't wait for that purchase. Number 4. Moving on into a little bit higher numbers. This is an introductory game. This is probably
your easiest game.
Probably the easiest, the lightest weight game that's on this list. straight, pure worker placement, Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
It is not okay. Let me categorize this. There's the expansion to it added into it is definitely something that I don't know if I want to play it as much anymore without the expansion, without the Scoundrels of Skullport.
That's the one we played, right?
When we played it last, we played with that expansion. And we didn't play all of the expansion, but we played some of it and added into it. And it doesn't add a whole lot of complexity, but it does add to the game. It does add to the play of the game. But Lords of Waterdeep is just theme wise. That's where I'm interested in when it comes to board games. I like that fantasy side of it, the D&D side of it. It is a straightforward worker placement. You don't have a whole lot of other things. Everdell's worker placement, but you got the card mechanics and everything else, the tableau building.
Right.
You don't have that really with Lords of Waterdeep. And so you are building out the city. There's a little bit going on, but for the most part, it's just fighting for the placement in order to get your adventurers that are going to go on the quests that you have. So a little bit of a storytelling. It is an easy game to be able to teach somebody. And then once they know the base game, throw in some of the expansion components. It just adds a lot to it. So
we had fun. I enjoyed playing the game. So very nice. But yeah, I would say, that would be light.
Yeah, it's lightweight.
Yep, definitely there though. But and we're trying to like split hairs, right? We're trying to get you into that medium level, right? The next steps, and I could definitely see where it definitely helps you get into worker placement from like the standard genre of games.
And even somebody who like worker placement is one of my favorite mechanics in games, and I still recommend this as let's play it. I want to play it. It's like I really still, after all these years, love that game.
Yep. So that's your number 4?
That was my number 4.
All right. My number 4 we've talked about is Everdell.
Nice.
It's a great game. Hey, I got this for Ara. I got her the deluxe edition. Got it just for her, and then I love it. She's turned into like Monopoly. She's almost getting as bad at this game as she does at Monopoly. That's why I won't play Monopoly. Oh, she's like
I didn't know she was
blank. When she's like not getting the chaining the way she wants, and she's like, you take a card she wants, stuff. It's funny. It's almost humorous at this point.
I've seen a little bit of that come out when we've played with her. Yeah, I feel like this is a game that has turned her into a gamer.
She's dominated.
This has been the game.
Yeah, this has definitely been the one that like flipped her.
Yeah, flipped the switch from more of the because I know Monopoly is a big game that she likes, that you adore, and is probably at top of your list.
Oh yeah, Monopoly is definitely my number 1. Hate you.
Love you, my friend. We need to play Monopoly. We should do a playthrough of Monopoly.
You really need to go away right now. Leave.
So, anything else about Everdell?
This is Brad's top 5 list of the rest of the day.
I'm going to put every version of Monopoly on my next list. I hope we're doing a top 50.
All right. So, that was my number 4. Everdell. Yes.
Number 3. Kind of talked about this loosely, and that is Pandemic. Not Pandemic Legacy. Pandemic Legacy definitely adds a lot of complexity to it, a lot of stress to it. I would never bring a new person into Pandemic Legacy immediately, but Pandemic I would. Pandemic has been a game that I have brought to non-gamers and gamers alike, and it's up there. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Like I love Pandemic. You need the expansion. You need one of the expansions. On the Brink expansion makes it. I won't play it probably without that. But man, such a good cooperative, a little bit of stress added into it game that yes, you can get into the alpha gaming. You have that with a lot of co-op games.
Right.
You have things that you got to watch for. Your gaming group is going to make or break some games, but I adore that game. I love it. I don't know if I'm ever going to tire of it to where it's going to leave my collection and I'm not going to recommend it. So I do like Pandemic Legacy a lot more, but Pandemic Legacy is not a medium weight game. Brad just doesn't know numbers. So he's challenged a little bit with that, I think. And he calls himself an engineer. So Pandemic, that is my number 3.
Sure. So my number 3 is a new game that just came out. But we played it quite a few times actually. And my kids have played it, and we just keep pulling it out. It's not hard to learn. Return to Dark Tower.
Oh yes, this was on my list. I bumped it for something else, but
it's a good game.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of like I used to play this the original version solo, and I like this game. I really, really do. It's not a cheap game. I went all in on this. I know it's hard to get, and I don't know if they've made it to stores or not. So
I haven't seen it yet.
And they are going to have, from what I understand, another second run Kickstarter coming up and such. But even though you're using an app, which I can't say that I'm a big fan of games with apps, I like this game. It doesn't detract from this game at all. I still feel like, and it's tough. It's not like, I mean, we've lost when we won. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I've always won. I'm like, I don't know how you have like a bunch of skulls come out at once, and then there's another bunch of skulls that come out the next round, and you're toast. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And the rivers of fire are always in the way, and just
But I like the game. I really do. It's definitely one of those that gives you that old school feel of the original game. Restoration games, I haven't played all of their games, but when they hit the old feel in a new package, it really does sing. It does a great job.
And I never played the old version. I would love to. I want to see it. I think it'd be a lot of fun to have.
The problem with it is like trying to find a tower that works.
Yeah.
And all the components and stuff. But yeah,
it's fantastic. Yeah. It really is.
You were surprised you liked it.
I was. I thought it was going to be a lot more challenging than it was, in terms of, like, I thought it was a heavier weight game.
Mm-hmm.
I also did
battles too.
I did think it was a lot of battles. Yeah, there was a lot more of a game to it than a war game. I'm not a war gamer, and that's kind of what I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's a great game.
I do. My number 3.
I'm glad you had it on your list, because I bumped it off of mine because I haven't played it a whole lot.
Right.
And so I was like, well, yeah, it's such a good game.
Yeah, that's good.
My number 2 we've already talked about.
Really?
Yes. Any ideas?
It's on my list, I guess.
Obviously, if we've talked about it, then yes. Unless I'm bad at lists.
The Loop.
No, it's definitely not The Loop.
No, I don't know.
The Loop. Viticulture.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, we've talked about it, so we don't have to really spend much time on it. But it's just a fun game. It's great to solo. It's great to bring people in. It's a little competitive, but for the most part, it's not. It is worker placement, so you'll have a lot of took my spot. But outside of that, it's just a great experience to play. So one of my favorites, with or without the expansion. Tuscany adds in quite a bit, but I feel like the game is maybe not just as good, but it holds up just as well to playing it with the expansion. We need to get you to play Tuscany, because it does add in a little bit of complexity to the game. And
I'm sure I'll like it. And you'll have one more season and everything.
Yeah.
So, I am sure I will like it. I know there's expansions that really screw up the main game, but everything about that one, everybody said no, it just adds to the game.
It does. In the Essentials version, so when you get Viticulture Essentials Edition, which is all you're going to buy now if you buy it new, that adds some polish to the original Viticulture, and then the Tuscany expansion is definitely going to be different than the original Tuscany, so the Essentials Edition of that as well. And it's, a lot of people say that's what Viticulture should have been. When I solo it, I enjoy soloing the base game, not Tuscany, but when I play it with other people, I want to play Tuscany. So it's, I'm glad it's not one game. I'm glad they didn't just push it all together as one thing. The variation is nice.
Nice. Very cool. And that's your number...
My number 2.
That's your number 2.
Yep.
My number 2 is... I think we just talked about this. If you watched our month in review, it was in this one too. So it's Cosmic Encounter. I really like this game. And I will never turn this game down. It's just fun. Now, I would probably turn it down at lower player count.
Yeah, I would.
To me, this is, without being a party game, this is a party game. And it just makes it fun. And you got so many aliens, and you have so many options, and you can't just, they did fix Risk. Risk was beat up on the low guy, and then, now you got 3 players or 4 players left, and then you go to the next person that's hard, and this one makes you draw a card and you have to go attack that one player, so it kind of takes that out. You could have some bad luck, but for the most part, it's just a lot of fun to see people negotiate, and hey, I need somebody on my team to help me or not, and and all the different powers that come up and everything. It just makes you laugh. I mean, like, I think it's hilarious, and I was shocked. like, because the components are kind of basic, right?
Yeah.
Wow, the game and the aliens, the way they went through all that is, you can see how much I'm smiling. It just makes me laugh every time I play the game.
Yeah, we've had a fantastic time playing it. That's another one of those ones, kind of like we're talking about Robo Rally, where we're just fighting with each other in a good way, like picking on each other and just screwing each other over and, messing up all plans, and then all of us winning against you.
Yes.
That was the first time we played as a game group. It was awesome.
Hilarious.
Like, what better way could you imagine a game to end other than Brad being the only loser? So
yeah, it was hilarious. It was awesome. But no, that's my number 2. I really like that game.
That's a good game.
And I don't own it. Lee owns it. And so thank you, Lee, for continuing to bring it over.
Yes. Thank you very much. Awesome. Number 1. You ready?
I wonder if we're going to have the same number 1.
I don't want to look at your list yet because I don't know, but we may. I don't know. We may. My number 1 is one of my absolute favorite games of all time. Play it solo, play it with people. It is cooperative. It is in probably my favorite universe when we talk about games and themes. Do you know what it is by now? I'm sure. My number 1 medium weight game is Cthulhu Death May Die. It's just amazing.
Great painted miniatures.
It does have fantastic painted miniatures. I will say,
point up here. You want to see our Cthulhu Death May Die video? Go watch that.
Yeah, we need to do a little bit of like comparing, showing some of these minis. So Brad painted my Cthulhu Death May Die, and it's, even without it, it is just an amazing
really
game.
Good. Simon did a really nice job with
they
that.
did.
And we can rag on Simon all you want,
but they're beautiful games, and this one just plays so well. It really is. And it's fun. You can bring people into it. People have no idea what they're doing because, I mean, you're going mad. Like, that's the game, point of the game. So if you don't know what you're doing, you're going mad. Like, I mean, it's just, we're all going to go mad together and have a good time doing it.
And as you get powers and as they see, they can start wiping things out. Then, like, you can just see people kind of like getting into like, oh my God, I get to do all this stuff on my turn. And then, oh crap, I'm going to die.
And probably will.
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible. Depends on who you play against, but any of them are bad. But such a good game.
It is such a good game. Awesome. Your number 1.
My number 1, Cthulhu Death May Die.
All right. My number 1 is going to surprise you.
Okay.
Absolutely. Best middleweight game ever.
Based on whose scale?
Terraforming Mars.
Are you serious?
No.
My heart just stopped for a minute. I was like, I'm going home. I'm going to get my game and I'm bringing it over right now. We're going to play it. So you've got a good 45 minutes of talking until I get back.
No, I just wanted to see what he would do.
That is not medium weight.
Lob that one out there is not medium weight and something he knows I don't like.
I think my heart stopped for just a minute.
You're welcome. See, I can be a jerk on camera as well as in game.
I don't know why you don't like that game. It is my favorite game of all time, and you never want to play it with me.
I will play it with you.
You will lose. He always loses with it. I think that's why he doesn't like it. I think he just realizes that he's
bad
at
a lot of games that I like. Thank you very much. Let's just remember that.
You do. Cosmic Encounter. We just talked about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks. You're welcome. For the heart attack there for a minute.
I wanted to just see what would happen.
It's not the top of the list of medium weight games. It is the top of the list of medium to hevier weight games. For sure. It's definitely at the top of my list. It should be at the top of your list.
Would you like to know what my number 1 is?
Now I don't. No. No.
Would you like to know what my number 1 is?
Have we played your number 1?
Yeah.
We played Terraforming Mars too, just saying. Should be at the top of your list.
My number 1 is Cthulhu Death May Die.
Is it really?
It absolutely is. We have a crossover.
We both love that game. Oh my gosh.
It's a great game. I mean, and it's funny because like people we've like kind of made Ara play it. And then she
loved it. Yeah.
And then kind of made Liam play it. And then he loves it. Like, and then we brought it to other people and then you can kind of see the like, and then, but then it's this switch. It's just like, oh, and we, like the last time we played it was 5, right?
I think
we had a full team.
I think we did. Yeah.
Man, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So it's if you haven't played Cthulhu Death May Die and you like, I don't even know what it's compared to. We do have a playthrough of it. I don't know, playthroughs are hit and miss if you like to watch those things or not. But it gives you an idea. But I really liked it. It's player elimination, and the first time I played it, I didn't like it. And I'm starting to find out, I don't know if I like demo days because they don't really help you. If somebody's going to teach you a game and they're not helping you with the strategy, you're almost set up to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody kind of tells you how to play the game so you don't die, especially when there's player elimination involved, and you keep people from doing that, you can really bring up their experience of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So it took me a year before I came back.
Yeah.
Because, I think I got that for Christmas, right? Because, he liked Cthulhu and all those kind of things. I'm like, well, this will be a good fit. And then we played it, and then like, oh wow,
yeah,
this
you were
hooked so
almost
much
immediately with it. Yeah,
so much better. Kind of like my Spirit Island experience.
Yeah,
first game to second game.
Yeah.
So
he finished first game of that and came out and was like, "Don't get it. It's not a good game."
The last game we just played,
it
had a
great.
blast.
Yeah,
it was a big difference.
Yeah,
big difference. So that's my number one. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this.
Yeah. Not surprised we had the same top number one slot. We had a handful of overlaps.
Yeah, I wasn't. Well, we only had a couple. Everdale,
Viticulture,
and that.
Death May Die.
Yeah, but those are our top. Those are in our top list.
Yeah, so. Not surprising.
Yeah, but hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hopefully you like our top 10s. We're going to do one top 10 a month. That's our goal. Mm-hmm. So it'll be different things like this, and then at the end of the year, we will be doing our top games of all time and see what's kind of shifted and moved around and things like that. Cult of the New gets in there a bit and all that kind of fun stuff. But hopefully you guys enjoy this. These are some of our most watched. And if you're watching, give us a subscribe. We would really appreciate it. We're growing. We're trying to keep adding things and making it more interesting, more video effects, all those kind of things, just to keep you entertained along the way.
Yeah. And it's great to see you guys commenting and kind of interacting with you as well. I enjoy that a lot. And so, let us know. Comment down below. What is your favorite medium weight game? Or do you disagree with us on some of the games that we've listed within this list? What are your thoughts? So comment down below. We'll interact with you a little bit there. Have a good time getting to know you and joining at the table.
Oh, and don't forget, you need to tell us whose list you like better. Team Brad.
Oh, it's clearly Team Toph.
Team Brad.
Completely Team Toph. Brad lied a couple times. Keep that in mind. All of you ethical followers.
You cheated first.
I did not cheat.
Have a great night. Talk to you later.